specialize in sex and war. The temple was centers of legalized vice which appealed
The thing I like about these sermons, they just put me right to sleep sometimes.
To engage in sacred prostitution. These goddesses correspond to Aphrodite and Venus of Greeks and Romans. In Palestine, Ashtoreth was the wife of Baal. Many scholars believe that the beginning of fertility cult was Babylonia, whose queen of heaven was called Ishtar. Ishtar is Semiramis, the mother wife queen of Nimrod. Anybody hear of hot cross buns being made at Easter time? Hot cross buns, that's right, hot cross buns. These things to think about will begin to fit into place to solve the puzzle of Masonry and Catholicism. Follow the reading of occult prophecy, Freemasonry, and interpretation in Mystery Babylon. A present-day reality, a compilation of Don Bell's letters. By reading it to Babylon, the Baal worship proved to be the worship of Nimrod and his wife, by Reverend Alexander Hislop. This book was published as a pamphlet in Newtonburg in 1853. The Christian lady Eva Starr gave her life to refute the evils of Islam, Judaism, and cults around the world, and yet failed to see the same thing around her in the symbols, rituals, and ceremonies of the Roman Catholic Church.
Not again.
Now, Reverend Alexander Hislop has done one of the outstanding works of research of all time in regard to the pagan origin of worship that takes place within the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, you got my undivided attention.
To the pagan source tracing the religion of Nimrod through the history religions of the world for many ages. The present day worship of veneration of the virgin Mary is really the worship of Venus and outside days. An example from Babylon. The book is published by the Zay Brothers, Bible Church Department, 1238 Corley's Avenue, Neptune, New Jersey. Approximately costing $1. The two Babylons of Papal worship may be ordered from nearly any Christian bookstore that is not Catholic.
Sounds like Jimmy Swaggart on crack.
Catholic or non-Catholic, you'll find an amazing revelation in this book. Especially if you have studied the history of Freemasonry. Here's what I put in his book. The two Babylons directly at the hidden system operating within the Roman Catholic Church. Yet he was very much aware of the similarities found in Freemasonry, as he mentions on page 43.
Looks like the camera's starting to get low on
The secret
battery.
system of Freemasonry was originally founded on the mystery of Egypt, Isis, the goddess mother and wife of Osiris.
Oh, I've been listening to you all right.
Body with these mysteries. Had they not had particular reference to architecture and had the God who was worshipped given them not been celebrated for the success and perfecting the arts of fortification and building. Now, as such was the case, considering a relation in which, as we have already seen, Egypt stood to Babylon, who would naturally be looked up to there as the great patron of the Masonic art. The strong presumption is that Nimrod must have been the man. While earlier quotes from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry by Mackey will have well verified Reverend Hislop's suspicions to tie Nimrod with Freemasonry. Anyone reading Hislop's book, The Two Babylons of the Papal Worship, will easily see that Masonry and the Roman Catholic Church both appear to be branches of the same mystery religion. Hislop's book is difficult to read, but most rewarding. Another book along the same line, but not as deep and easy to read, is Babylon Mystery Religion by Ralph Woodrow. He P.O. Box 144, Riverside, California, 95925. Price, $3.
You like reading advertising?
Exposing the Roman Catholic Church. But again, you who have studied the sources of masonry.
What, you got like a bunch of tourist brochures or what?
Notice the similarities between these supposedly better enemies. This first part has been written to call your attention to some books you may never have seen or read. And to dig a little deeper for the truth, I got you accused of those who have the fact
Sounds like you just stole a bunch of pamphlets from a...
Roman Catholic Church. Stay with us as we search deeper in the book to follow. Read the books we have mentioned, and at this moment, read Revelation 18:4. Read it! And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Notice, my people, and remember, salvation comes only through Jesus Christ.
Okay.
John 14:6.
Okay.
Not that fucking Hobbit dumb shit.
What are you just reading, like a pamphlet or a tourist brochure? What is that, a vampire thing? What's that, a vampire laugh? They says one of the signs of the coming of the Day of Judgment is that time would start going by faster.
It is going by faster. The last 15 minutes is all 5.
Well, I think the
I
think the bizarre, like, pseudo-messianic figures that are like half blind in one eye or something, that's kind of suspicious too. Appearance of pseudo-messiahs, that's like kind of a given that it's a sign of the coming of the Day of Judgment when pseudo-messiahs start showing up with pseudo-messiahs with one discolored eye. That's kind of an indication that, and then time starts going faster and the earthquakes increase. And there will be great turmoil. And there will be great turmoil across the world! Wait, what was that new style? No, your new style of building up the sermon, like...